Hello and welcome to Big Dash Knows. Big Dash knows what? New York Giants football. Let's go. Positional value. Right now, that word or those words, positional value, make me mad. They absolutely make me mad because don't all positions have value? And what do you mean when you say positional value? Are you talking about the kind of money these guys are making at the position? Or is it actually the value of the position on the field? Now, you guys know my argument. I don't even want to make this video about that because this is supposed to be a mock draft. So you know what? I'll save that for another video. Right now, let's talk about this mock draft. So you saw it in the thumbnail. This is a non-simulator mock draft. A couple things happened. First thing happened is PFF no longer allows you to do a 7-round mock draft. There are other simulators that you can do it, but PFF was going strong for a little bit. I like their rankings that they had. I agree with it more than some other websites, but again, they want to charge for it, and I refuse to pay for a mock draft simulator. I just do. Between it, NFL Plus, ESPN Plus, and everything else that I pay for, did not seem to be worth it, especially when there's other options out there. So this is going to be a non-simulator mock draft for the New York Giants, and I'm going to break it down a little bit as talk about positional value, within those rounds, where the strength of that round is and where the most value as far as a position is in these rounds. So without further ado, let's get right into this. So the first pick in the first round for the New York Giants is going to be pick 25. And the way that I look at it is there's some positions of need that are also at 25, probably best player available. So you're meeting both. Now, if you want to rank the needs for the New York Giants, of course, like I said, if you follow me, center is very, very high on my list. But I understand what positional value means. And that's why I always say, if I'm going to take a center at 25, there's going to be certain people that are off the board, have been already selected before I do go center. But I'm absolutely comfortable with going center at 25. So I'll start it off with that. But cornerback, even though on some of these websites, cornerback is not a high position of need for the New York Giants, but for Wink Martindale and the New York Giants, and as a fan of the New York Giants, I believe the cornerback position is very, very important. And when you look at the strength of this first round, you have about 5 to 6 cornerbacks that you see are going to go in that first round. And for me, you're looking at whether it's going to be Gonzalez from Oregon or Witherspoon. Is it going to be Joey Porter after that, and then Deonte Banks, and then also you have Cam Smith and then Emmanuel Forbes. So these are all good cornerbacks, man. All of them have their own certain thing that you like, a lot about them. Gonzalez is just all around good corner, great size, great speed. Witherspoon, again, good corner, good size, great speed, good ball skills. Joey Porter, man-to-man, good speed, good height, good size, balls. It goes on and on. Even Deonte Banks, and then Cam Smith, not the best of size. Emmanuel Forbes, not the best of size, but good ball skills and very, very aggressive, both for their size. Cam Smith is only 180 pounds, and then we saw Emmanuel Forbes at the combine weigh 166 pounds. Now he turned around on the pro day and he was up to 170. So we'll see what actually his weight is going to be, come the draft or come, rookie minicamp and things like that. But again, and you see that the lighter guys kind of got pushed back to the end of the round, because I tell you what, if Emmanuel Forbes was 180 pounds, he's right up there with the top 4 guys. If Cam Smith was 190 pounds, he's probably right up there too, because these guys are very, very good. And when it comes to ball skills, you might even say Emmanuel Forbes might be the best out of the bunch. So I wouldn't be even mad with a couple of these guys. But again, cornerback is very high on this list. Now, the next position is going to be your wide receiver, as far as positional value goes. Now, there's a top 3 guys, Quentin Johnston, JSN, Jordan Addison. Now, I'm not high on Quentin Johnston, not at all. I actually like a couple other receivers better than Quentin Johnston. That's a whole nother video entirely. But when you think about Jordan Addison and JSN, and that's Jackson Smith-Njigba from Ohio State, the chance of these guys being at 25 is very, very slim. But as far as this video goes, and I want to explain why, when I get to the pick at 25, why I'm picking who I'm picking at 25. Outside of that, another sneaky position would be edge. Because again, with Azeez Ojulari, with the injuries that he suffered last year. Now his rookie year was fine. He played majority of those games. He was healthy, but this game he just couldn't shake some of those injuries. Now that makes a lot of people scared a little bit about what is he going to give you this year. But even if Azeez is fully healthy, you still want to add depth to that position. Now the only thing that pushes that back a little bit is because if Azeez Ojulari is healthy, is there going to be a rookie edge out of this draft in the first round that you can see could possibly start over him? And if not, you could probably wait a little bit longer to get one of these edge guys. So with all that being said, with the number 25 pick for the New York Giants, and if he's there, I think it's going to be Deonte Banks if he's there. Deonte Banks, cornerback out of Maryland, about 6'1", 200 pounds, great size for a corner, great ball skills, aggressive, physical, will step up in the run game as well. That's what you're looking for as far as a cornerback in this Wink Martindale scheme. In this scheme. Now, Deonte Banks, fantastic player. Another guy who we taken out to eat was Cam Smith. Cornerback from South Carolina. Again, very good ball skills. Might even have better ball skills than Deonte Banks. Aggressive, but again, he's getting pushed a little bit behind. Not sure exactly why, but I'm gonna go with that cornerback Deonte Banks at 25. Okay, and I know a lot of people are like, Dash, what are you doing? You push center. You push center so hard. I absolutely do push center. I push for the center position, hard. But I understand if some of these guys are here, and also the center is here, I'm taking one of these guys first. I am taking one. Deonte Banks, Joey Porter. I'm taking that guy first. Now, Cam Smith is a 50-50 with me. I might just still go with the center there. A lot of people talk about Zay Flowers at wide receiver. I don't think we're Zay Flowers away from competing. I would actually pick the center over a guy like Zay Flowers, because I think you can get the same type of production from a rookie receiver in the second, third rounds, especially in this round, because the wide receiver class in this draft is very, very deep, very deep. Now, with the second round for the New York Giants, it's going to be pick 57. And in this mock draft, I'm not doing any trades. I'm sitting still. I'm taking a chance of losing my center. I understand that, because at 57, in my head, I don't believe one of those top three centers is still there. Whether it's Schmitz, Weipler, or Tippmann. And it all depends on when that first center goes. If that first center goes early, I'm pretty sure those other centers will go right after that. Not directly right after that, but they'll be, in that range, and we'll just be right off the mark of getting one of those top three guys. So with that being said, just want to say some of the targets for me in that second round is going to be the center position, obviously. If any of those three guys are there, I like Schmitz and Weipler more than Tippmann. I think he's just too tall. It's an issue with leverage. He's athletic, crazy athletic. But again, I don't need my center to be crazy athletic. I need them to be stout. I need them to be smart. I need to be able to be fundamentally sound. I need to be able to snap the ball, get their hands up, and have good hand fight ability. Now, another position in that second round could be an off-ball linebacker. A guy like Jack Campbell. A guy like Trenton Simpson. He rings a bell. Another, if you're looking at edge, you're looking at Andre Carter possibly. Maybe one of the edges fall out of that first round and keep falling. But that's another position. Then also defensive tackle. Defensive tackle in the second round would not surprise me. It would not surprise me at all, because that's another position where you need depth. But it's also another position where you're trying to replace a player in the future. And when it comes to Leonard Williams, the writing's on the wall. I think he still has some good years left, but you want to get that person in the building that you want to replace him with. So I wouldn't be surprised if we go D tackle, at 57. But for this mock draft at pick 57, I have the New York Giants getting a blessing, and one of these centers are going to fall to 57. And it's not going to be John Michael Schmitz. In this case, it's going to be Wypler from Ohio State. So the New York Giants with the 57 pick get Wypler. And right now I'm doing a dance because we have a center. It fits the need. It also fits in that best player available for all the people that chase that so much. We have our center for the future. Okay, so now we're moving into pick 89. We're in the 3rd round. And for me, I'm thinking wide receiver, because not just because we need a wide receiver, because a lot of that depth in the class comes in the wide receiver position. And if you look at the talent of these guys, they're going to be falling or getting picked up like crazy in the 2nd, 3rd, and even the early 4th round. And I think that when we pick in the 4th round, you're probably not going to get that same quality as what you would get at 89. So I'm thinking about the wide receivers at pick 89. I'm also thinking about interior linemen if I haven't already addressed it, especially the center position. But also if a guard falls, a guy like Avila falls, Cody Mock falls, you can be looking at, back-to-back offensive lineman picks in this draft for me personally. Also, it might be too soon, but depending on what happens with Saquon Barkley, I'm also looking at what running back might be available here. So there's a lot of ways, a lot of different ways that you can go with pick 89. But again, I'm going to go with the strength. And it might be a little bit of a reach, but I'm thinking about the wide receiver, and I'm thinking about the wide receiver. When you're thinking about Jonathan Mingo, you see where his positional rank is with a lot of different websites, and a lot of people have him marked as a 4th rounder. I don't think so. I think Jonathan Mingo can go as high as the end of the 2nd round. And if you get a guy like Jonathan Mingo at 89, that's a steal for me, because he fits that mold that the New York Giants don't have right now. Because for right now, the New York Giants either have guys below 6 feet or guys that are like 6'3", 6'4". You don't have that, intermediate type of wide receiver. But he's just not an intermediate type of wide receiver. He is a big body wide receiver with good speed, great hands, and good ball skills. So Jonathan Mingo, for me at 89, even though some people might see it as a reach, I believe that would be a steal for us, because he fits a certain wide receiver's position for us that I don't think we have on the roster right now, and is absolutely an upgrade. We have a bunch of slot receivers, and even though Jonathan Mingo played some slot at Ole Miss, I believe he has the ability to move outside and be one of those dominant outside receivers. The man is built in the mold of a A.J. Brown. He even went to Ole Miss like A.J. Brown. If you look at his tape, you look at his highlights, he's an every play, every down type player. He's going to give you his all on every play. And again, contesting catches, getting separation, yak, he can do it all. So Jonathan Mingo will be my pick at 89. Absolutely. And again, he might be a reach on some other people's boards, but for me, that's a perfect spot to get a wide receiver like Jonathan Mingo. Now, you might have guys like A.T. Perry, Xavier Hutchinson, Parker Washington. The list goes on and on. There's a lot of wide receivers in this class, and I wouldn't be, upset with a lot of these guys. But right now, for me, in this pick, in this mock, I'm going with Jonathan Mingo, pick 89 for the New York Giants. Now, at pick 128, now, we've already addressed the cornerback position. We've already addressed center. We've already addressed a wide receiver spot. Now, when you look at round 4, a lot of the strength is still going to be the wide receiver. But outside of that, you got a lot of running backs, good quality running backs. They're going to be falling in those same rounds. You're still going to have, running backs that fall in that same round as the wide receivers. Again, a deep class of running backs, depending on what you're looking for. But they got them all. It's a smorgasbord of running backs this year. You got the short and shifty. You got the large thumpers, Pauls. You got the intermediate guys. You got your every down backs. You got your guys that are just versatile in every way. And I like a lot of guys in this range. Another thing that you want to look at, too, if you did not get your wide receiver in round 3. Round 4 is probably the last round that you can get one of these guys that can be a first-year type of contributor. Not saying that any of these guys after that are absolutely not contributors. But when you're looking at this list of these top guys, these top 20 wide receivers, a lot of these guys are probably gone by the 4th round. And then depending on the talent drop off, possibly the 5th round and things like that. After that, a lot of those top end wide receivers are probably going to be gone. But running back, wide receiver, this is another spot where you can peek to see, what edge guy might have fell, what defensive tackle might have fell. Also, some of those later interior linemen. Now, when we get into pick 128, that's probably going to be the last spot where you can get a good quality center that could possibly be a starter. Oluwatimi might be a guy that's there, the center from Michigan. I think he actually goes before that. You have guys like Stromberg from Arkansas, who might be a little bit of a reach at 128, but still a target. Juice Scruggs from Penn State is another center that you can look at, in this round as well. But again, we've already established and taken our center at 57. So I'm just going to go in here at pick 128. I have the New York Giants drafting a running back. Running back. Now, the running back that I'm going to choose is DeWayne McBride from UAB. And I'm choosing him because, in the 4th round, he's still a day 2 pick. But what he gives you is this. If Saquon Barkley does sign his tender, you have a guy in DeWayne McBride that is a perfect complement to Saquon Barkley. Now, we already have Jashaun Corbin on the squad, on the roster. We have Gary Brightwell on the roster. But I think DeWayne McBride gives you a little bit of something that those guys don't give you as well. Now, Jashaun Corbin is a little bit lighter, but he's a tough runner. Brightwell is coming along. Barkley loves him. And we saw that he can get some quality snaps. DeWayne McBride is a guy that if you watch his tape at UAB, I understand it's the competition that you're playing against, but it's the way he runs the ball. One cut, hit the hole, and he's gone. It has enough speed to get away from you. It has enough power to get those tough yards as well. So I do like DeWayne McBride at pick 4. At pick 128 in round 4. Now, if I did not go with the running back, this is be a perfect place for a guy like the defensive tackle Ojomo. He would be a good spot here. If a guy like Javon Dexter falls to like the 4th round, don't think that'll happen, but we'll see what happens in this draft. Where the things have happened. He's a defensive tackle out of Florida. You might have to get him at 89, but is it possible for a guy like that to fall? Absolutely. And then you have guys like edge rushers, like Zach Harrison from Ohio State. Not as heavy as Leonard Williams, but good size, 6'4", 280 pounds. I remember the buzz for him was he can run a possibly 4.5, high 4.40s for a guy that big, but he never ran, his 40 at the combine. And I don't have the numbers in front of me now to see what he ran possibly at the pro day, but he was dealing with some injuries just a little bit. But I like him too. And then Keanu Benton is another guy, great size, another guy that you can potentially look at as a replacement for Leonard Williams. But again, that's just me talking about my mock draft. I'm only going to do 4 rounds. Again, this is not a simulator. I wish I had the mind to remember all the people that would come in like around 5, 6, and 7, but I'm not that good. But again, just a 4-round mock draft without a simulator. Picks that I would absolutely be happy having. And let me know what you guys think in the comments down below with those 4 picks. Do they add value to the team? Do they make the Giants better? How do you feel about those picks? So I want to thank you guys for vibing with me. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And from one Giants fan to another, this is Big Dash Knows, Big Blue Nation. Let's go.